All right, that's better. Okay. Let's see if we can get Jeff over here. All right. So we got looks like people are starting to join over here. Let's let me mute this so I don't freaking have to listen to myself. There we go. That works. Let's actually get rid of that. Put this up. All right. So sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties figuring out pump.fun and getting it added to the streaming software. I think we got it figured out now, though. So let's see if we can. Looks like we got YouTube cooking. We got X cooking. Sweet. All right.
Ooh.
All right. Now we got Jeff over here.
And we are live back
Yeah.
on.
We're live on pump.fun.
Ooh.
Actually, let's jump over to here. And we'll add you to the scene. All right, go ahead and put your screen back up and let's fucking do this thing.
I feel seen. Ooh.
Oh,
Where'd it go? There we go. Hey. Oh, let's
all right.
let me
Much
pull
gooder.
this ear tube part 2.
There we go. All
Part
right.
dos. Dos
Part two.
Equis. Part 2. Oh, hot shots, man. What do you Oh.
All right.
That was a good one.
So let
These
me go.
youngins.
Let's make sure that we are cooking on. All right, cool. Yep. So we're live on YouTube. We're live on all of our X's, and we are live on pump.fun. All right. This time for real. Let's do this thing.
Pump it up.
All
Pump
right.
it up.
So welcome to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I'm
We
Mike,
are.
aka Veteran Crypto, and this is Jeff, the aka the Blockchain Report, and we are now live on all channels, including Pump.fun. So let's. You already talked a bit about Mavryk. Catch me up on where you're
Mhm.
at, and It sounds like
Yeah.
that you covered most everything. Have you talked about the token generation event?
Yeah, that was the first thing I talked about. It will be launching September 18th at a price of 10 cents per token, fully diluted value of 100 million. Exchange MEXC and circulating supply will be 5.6% on the initial. Now, I don't know the full, so they'll be sharing vesting schedules and contract addresses publicly for full visibility. Now, I'm not sure what the, oh, they said the lockup is wrong, or the lockup is was wrong. Okay, whatever that means. The lockup is was wrong. Um, and yeah, testnet participants and Kaito yappers be rewarded, but I don't know the vesting schedule. I checked their website and I did not see an update, but let me go back and check their Twitter because they might. Oh, wait, right here. Okay, full release detailing. Because, yeah, you want to know vesting schedules. Because, like we talked about Saturday, is that some projects are starting to have more of like a linear unlock every year. A certain amount of tokens get unlocked to investors and VCs, so they don't dump on you right away, which is awesome. Um, so let's see.
So, I mean, do you want me to talk about Advantis or?
Yeah, because I pretty much went all through Mavryk and their platform, or Maven, which is the platform that has all the earn and borrow, vaults, staking, your farms. So this is like the Plume dashboard, but for Maverick Finance, and it's called Maven. And there will be a Maven token, so you're not just gonna have a Maverick token to invest in if you want to invest in it, but Maven Finance is like the dashboard and home base for the network. Equities, that is your real world asset tokenization stuff where you can invest in car insurance, bonds, home loans, gold, real estate, and even Bitcoin miner facilities. Or if you're really degen, a Hilton apartment on Mars and US
Yeah.
Treasury bonds. So, oh, this is cool. Katla Icelandic Hotel. That's sick. Oof.
Oh, is that hotel where they like make it out of ice?
No, that's even cooler though. That is so cool. I want to go. I want to go there and at least stay there for a night.
Oh, it looks
That would be
like Ayaz is saying Trump company's coin World Liberty Fi also has good news on a big burn. All right, might have to
the
check that
burn.
out.
It's the burn. The big burn.
Yeah. Me personally, I mean, I'm definitely, I support most of what Trump does, but when it comes to crypto, I'm just real skeptical of anything that he does after, how he did us dirty with the
Meme
freaking,
coin.
yeah, the meme coin and then the Melania token. And
Yeah.
I think there was even a Baron token that came out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over all that. I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I I I feel you, man. I mean, I put a couple $100 in a liquidity pool, World Liberty
Yeah.
Fi, just to see how it is, and I think
Hmm.
I paid like $5 for a fucking Ethereum transaction fee. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so I'm
just
just letting it sit.
Yeah, I opted out, and it might bite me. It might end up being like a really good. Oh, what up? Got
Oh
blockchain
shit!
basement. Got blockchain basement up in
Uh,
here. Is that you,
it's
Drew, or
cool.
is that Isaac? Who's sneaking around in our chat?
Sneaky snake.
So, Blockchain Basement, whoever it is, this is our first episode. We're live on Pump.Fun at the same time as
Hmm.
YouTube and all of our X accounts. So we're trying it out live. We had some technical difficulties. I messed it up, but the chat on Pump.Fun says they can hear everything and everything's going good. So we'll
Hell
we'll
yeah.
we'll see how this goes.
Rock on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the whole Maverick network
All right. Well,
pre-launch.
I'll
So get
let me
excited,
share.
man. This is now. What do you think this is gonna do with Plume once this launches? How do
Are
you
you talking
think
about,
that whole thing is gonna go down?
are you talking about with Maverick?
Yeah, like what do you think this ecosystem, this whole real world asset ecosystem is gonna look like with more
Honestly, I
availability?
don't. I think with real world asset tokenization, I think that there's going to be enough room for a lot of people. I think that there will be some powerhouses, depending on partnerships. Who gets the most TVL, kind of thing. But I don't think that it's going to be like the one chain that rules them all necessarily. Because I mean,
Mm.
I can jump over. Actually, I'll jump over to rwa.xyz and we can look. .xyz. I'll share my screen.
And do you remember what project that was that I shared the flight insurance thing with?
I
Where if
don't.
because that was really cool.
So anybody that's not familiar with with this website, if you're into any projects that have to do with the tokenization of real world assets, stocks, bonds, private credit, commodities, gold, silver, oil, stocks, real estate, art, pretty much anything that's illiquid, any like, physical items or, anything that is, again, illiquid, like Ondo. Ondo just basically started tokenizing. I'll scroll down here, but you can see that, U.S. Treasuries, the Biddle Fund, that's a BlackRock's fund, Paxos Gold, that's a tokenization of physical gold. You have Tether Gold, XAUT. You have funds, like basket of funds that are being tokenized. But you can see that this isn't a kind of one that rules them all. Ethereum, of course, is kind of the go-to chain for a lot of this, but you see Solana is another one that is being utilized for the tokenization of real world assets. You got ZK Sync, Polygon, Aptos, XLM or Stellar. You have Avalanche. I was trying to get Drew to touch on this today on the live. Avalanche has been blowing up as far as
Mm.
real world asset tokenization. It's up in the past 30 days, 133%. So if you sort, the next largest one as far as growth is BNB chain with 22%, whereas Avalanche is up 133%. I mean, that is huge.
Wow.
And, you got base that is starting to creep up, but there is a lot of room, I think, with the size of, and the amount of liquidity that is going to be onboarded through tokenization. I really don't think that one project, like Maverick or Plume or Ondo, I don't think that, again, that it's going to be one that just swallows it all up. I think that there's going
Mm.
to be a lot of different players. To what extent, market share wise, each is going to, gobble up, time will tell. That is why
Mm.
I am diversified. I have some Ondo, I have some Avalanche, I have, some Ethereum. Base. We just found out today, Base and Coinbase is hinting at actually launching a Base token, which they kind of weren't looking at before. When they launched the Base chain, because of the hostility that they were launched a chain, potentially it could get flagged as a security, and they could face lawsuits much like XRP did, with launching a security, and
Yeah.
so they didn't. But today they announced that they're potentially you're going to be launching a base token. So we could potentially have a discussion on how that. And somebody was asking in our Discord earlier, if they launch a base token, could that affect? Because a lot of people said because there wasn't a token, that's why. Why am I drawing a blank on this? Aerodrome
Oh.
what was kind of the token that was being kind of hyped as the base token, because it was about 60% of the volume on the base network. So it was almost like the default base token that people were investing in, and potentially could it affect it? Really good question. I mean, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Arrow, it has its use case, for the exchange itself, but I mean, it'll definitely take some market share away. That's for sure. As we've seen, the more projects that launch tokens, especially with the meme coins,
Mm-hmm.
it takes that liquidity away, good or bad. And I don't know. I mean, you're gonna see just uh, less and less in I guess percentage increase of tokens. Like you're not going to get the 100x pumps like we did last cycle on all these tokens because there's just so many more tokens to invest in. But I don't know. Then again, you have Coinbase app that will, or the base app that will launch, giving access to more people. So more liquidity is going to fly in.
Mm-hmm.
And really, retail is just barely sniffing crypto right now. I mean, we're so early. So there's just a lot of different factors and depending on people's flavor too, if they want to invest in the base token and what kind of rewards they'll get from it. So it's there's a lot of moving parts, man. Um,
Oh, check this out. As far as growth, like 7 day growth is Denari.
Denari? Hmm.
Yeah.
Drew said, or Blockchain Basement said on 50x leverage, it's just like last cycle though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, use
So,
those tools,
hey,
man.
so real quick, I know that we had some technical difficulty at the beginning. I do want to touch on something very important. So Drew over at Blockchain Basement has been instrumental with us, being able to get this channel going and helping
Mhm.
us grow the channel. So I definitely want to give them a shout out. If you're not following them on YouTube, and they're going to be launching. I know that he mentioned today. I was driving, so I was kind of in and out, but Discover Crypto, our kind of our parent channel that we fall under, they're going to be launching on Pump.Fun as well. So be keeping an eye out for them. Huge
Nice.
channel on YouTube, 1.4 million subscribers. So if you're not familiar, they are a macroeconomic kind of channel, crypto news, kind of your all encompassing. And then Drew over at Blockchain Basement, he's been streaming on the Discover Crypto channel, but he has a very base channel called Blockchain Basement where he gets a little more degen and
Mhm.
talks about some things that sometimes gets him shadow banned. So I hope that he jumps on Pump.Fun and able to kind of share some of that more based content. But and then of course there's us, where we focus almost solely on DeFi and on airdrops. So between the three channels, you have a little bit of everything. You have the macro news, economics, you have the base content, and then you have DeFi, RWAs, and airdrops. So we give you a little bit of everything over there. So by all means, please find Drew on X, the Druth, and he has some great content, and I know you'll love his channel. So anyway, just wanted to give Drew a quick shout out.
Yeah, much love, man. And he actually, when I went to Bitcoin Nashville last year, I got to say this because he didn't know that none of them knew that I had a channel. I made it out there. I asked if I could just, sit in on the show, and he put me right next to what's his name from Constellation Dag, Dagnum PI, and Matty B, Piano Matty B. And I was sitting there. I had no business being there, but he was so kind to let me sit there and then late. It wasn't until I went to the blockchain basement studio or to Discover Crypto Studio in October, and they found out that I had a channel, and they're oh shit, and they brought up my channel. So I really appreciate them just having me on the show and just being so kind and welcoming with open arms. So great people over there.
Absolutely.
And I did find that that airline thing. It was Rialo, real quick.
That's
So
it.
Rialo is a real world asset project that is coming soon. We did a deep dive 7 days ago, and it's super early. There's no test net or anything. And some pretty big, heavy backing. And the team is awesome. So flight canceled, airport in chaos. Everyone's fighting for refunds, but you hold tokenized flight insurance. Cancellation announced, your policy triggers, payout hits your wallet. Instant, autonomous, seamless. Welcome to Rialo, the first Apex network. So you can tell those customer service agents to go kick rocks. We don't need you anymore. We can do it a much better way. So that's awesome to see. And I know Jay said something before we ended the stream about he was in the Denver airport recently, and I was saying how me and my ex were traveling and had to stay in the airport overnight. We ended up getting our partial refund and food credits, but it took a while to get, and you have to deal with all the people at customer service and the lines. So this is so fantastic. I can't wait to see more of these use cases and utility in the real world. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that.
No, no, definitely. It's and especially with a lot of the issues that they have with flights these days. But I'll tell you, I mean, the
Hmm.
thing that I'm most bullish on, and anybody that thinks that this bull market is over or coming to a close, you know, do whatever. I'm always saying this. Figure out before you invest in crypto or anything for that matter. Figure out your risk tolerance and figure out your financial goals, because without those, you really don't know when to exit and when to get out. You need to know where you're at currently and where you're trying to get. Because me personally, I am not getting out of this market. I mean, I have not seen anything that would lead me to believe that we have had any kind of alt season. We were sitting here trying to figure out where we're at in the cycle because of the way that the market has evolved. We've gone from a speculative market where it was nothing but retail because institutions and big money couldn't legally get involved in the crypto market. There was way too much uncertainty. They had a fiduciary duty to their investors to where they couldn't, from a legal standpoint. So we are just on the precipice of that transition from a speculative market to a utility market. And I personally feel like there is a lot more upside left. How much I am not going to pretend to know, but I have a very high risk tolerance. I am 100% in altcoins. I own, I think, like maybe $15 worth of Bitcoin. And it was basically just to test out Mamo, the AI on base, as far as like an auto investing and auto management system. But
Hmm.
I am waiting to see how this plays out. I mean, I definitely have my ladder out strategy. I have the different levels for each of my assets and a percentage that I'm going to be cashing out. as this market starts to pump. Hopefully it does pump. But as I'm doing that, I will be DCAing out into stables, and I will be using platforms like Avantis, where like right now you can earn 21.23% on USDC. The base APR of 5.83, but if you lock, you can lock for different periods of time, a max of 6 months. If you lock for 6 months, right now you can earn 21.23% on your USDC. And I'm not going to put everything into this. I
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch. I have a whole laundry list of like 20 different places just for stables that I can earn anywhere from 10% to 20% or more on my stables. Some of them is, you can loop. You can actually lend out your assets for 5, 6, 7, 8%. Take out a leveraged loan against it. So, say I lend out $100,000. I would probably only do maybe a 50, 60% loan to value. So take out like a $50,000, $60,000 loan because, obviously if USDC depegs like it has in the past and it's dipped down to 80 cents before, just a quick wick, I don't want to get liquidated. So I'll only
Mm-hmm.
do like a 50, 60% because it would have to dip down to, probably around 60, cents, 50 cents to liquidate me. So, I take out $50,000, $60,000 in the form of a loan, use that liquidity to then lend back out. So now I have $150,000 lent out. I have a $50,000 borrow that I lend out. So now I have $150,000 lent out, and then take another leveraged loan against that of 50%. So I have another $25,000 that I can then lend out, and you just rinse and repeat, and you keep doing that, and that's called a loop. But there are risks, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
understand those risks before you do it. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I have a show that I do with David, who is a freaking savant when it comes to DeFi and advanced strategies, and Jake Call, who has a really good YouTube channel that I suggest you check out. But we discuss anything from beginner, intermediate, and advanced strategies in DeFi to where you can do, Pendle. I know that David is really big on Pendle with, YTs and PTs, to where it separates out a yield bearing token that you can do looping with Contango. There is so many
Mm.
things that you can do in DeFi to lever up your liquidity to turbocharge your earnings. But again, you need to understand your risk tolerance. You need to understand your financial goals before you go too deep on these things, because again, just like using leverage in trading, you can get liquidated. So you need to make sure you mitigate your risks. So anyway, just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
share that.
Powerful stuff, man. And that's
Yes.
a great thing about finding other experts in the field or people that are more knowledgeable than you, because you're like, hey, I want to learn. What can we do to help teach other people too, and give them the best resources available? Because I had no clue about metrics finance or Jake Call's channel or David,
Mm-hmm.
and finding these people is incredible, man, because they've been doing it a while. They have stuff built out that they've been working on, and it's just awesome. And everyone out there, don't be afraid to say I don't know this shit. I don't know something. It's very humbling when you can just sit back and learn from other people,
Dude,
man.
every time we do the show on Wednesdays and Fridays, I just pretty much sit back, and anytime that they start using the big words, like delta neutral positions and things like that, I slow them down, and I'm like, hey, listen, not everybody is a savant in DeFi. Can you break that down for us? And I because I like to make things very simple. The reason that I started this channel to begin with was because I wanted to give people a way to, an entry point to DeFi because it's very complex. It can be very daunting. It can be very intimidating. So we try to make things as simple as possible here. But on our YouTube channel, you can see that we have our Discords. If you want to join a community, everything we do is free. So if you want to join the Discord, and the DIG, if you're interested in learning trading, Drew is always in there. There's a bunch of the crew that's in there that is teaching trading. If you want to get news, if you want to learn DeFi, we have our DCA Discord. Both have great communities to teach you. Metrics Finance. If you want a tool to track your DeFi, actually, you don't have to connect your wallet. You can just copy and paste your wallet address. It will look at your wallet. Again, you don't have to connect. You don't have to worry about it draining your wallet or anything like that. It just looks at your wallet address, but it will show you your current open DeFi positions, and it will show you your past closed positions and give you all the analytics on how you've performed. If you're being profitable or if you're hemorrhaging not just liquidity, but hemorrhaging tokens. So there's that. He's about to launch. Right now, it only does liquidity pools, but he's about to launch. He sent me a screenshot today where he was asking our input, mine and David's input on lending. So they're about to launch to where you can track your lending as well. And then, of course, if you want to learn advanced strategies in DeFi, there's David's school. There's links to David's school, DeFi University. It's one of the most affordable, universities, kind of that teach DeFi that I've found, and it's $97 a month. But if you would like to just get started for free, we have our DeFi Academy that I've built out that teaches you just the down and dirty basics, and will help you get your feet wet when it comes to DeFi. And then when you get to a point to where you feel like, all right, I got my head wrapped around this, I'm ready to jump in the deep end, do some real DeFi. That's when I would suggest that you go over to that DeFi University, because you're going to get a lot more in depth over there. But yeah, here's the DeFi Masterclass Wednesdays and Friday, where we talk about everything to do with DeFi. This one right here was all about Pendle and Contango and looping. And then, of course, on Thursdays, we have an estate lawyer, an actual lawyer, and it talks about wealth preservation. So how to use wills and trusts, LLCs, things like that to protect the wealth. So, if you're about to make a bunch of money in crypto, you might want to learn how to mitigate your taxes. You might want to learn how to protect your assets from lawsuits and things like that. So great, Taylor is great for that. And then we also have Texas Jeff or TradFi Jeff that talks about traditional finance. So he's been doing it for decades, investing in the stock market, stocks, bonds, those sorts of things. So we have a little bit of everything on this channel. So I invite all of you to pop over and join us for any of those shows. But just kind of introducing the people over on Pump.Fun, to the channel. So if you're watching and you're kind of old hat, I know this is all stuff that you already know about.
And they're all such great people too. I mean, the conversations and interactions that I've had with everyone have been just fantastic. I mean, there's no sticklers, you don't have to really walk on that.
Well, and again, I mean, everybody does this for free. Like, David isn't paid. Jake isn't paid, for coming on our show. Me and Jeff, it costs us money to do this show because of the editing software and the streaming software and stuff. So we do this because we want to build a channel that those of you out there, a channel of integrity, that whatever it is we're putting out on this channel is not incentivized. We're not getting paid to say something when we're talking about Mavryk. All of these different projects that we've talked about. Warden, this Sisic, Fogo, Kuru, Ordiz, all of these different projects that we talk about. Nobody has paid us a single dollar or a single token. We
Hmm.
give you our genuine, honest opinion on these projects. You know, this, there is nothing we do here that is monetized so far. Will we monetize? Absolutely. But we are just trying to build the channel out right now. So anything that you can do to help to, like, follow, jump in the chat is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and even when we do monetize, it won't be at the helm of a project, that is going to tell us what to talk about and how to talk about it, and oh, research or talk about this project. No, if we find something interesting, or I find something that is coming down like Rialo that is so early. I mean, they just announced their funding last month. It's interesting because I was early on Plume and got in the test net and was like, oh shit, this is actually really cool. So it's stuff that we find interesting and want to bring it to your attention and have it on your radar. And it might be something that can make you a lot of money one day, and you just never know. But we're not doing this because somebody told us to talk about it and shit like that. So
Well, let's go ahead and jump into some other content. Like I said, I just wanted to introduce the channel to
mm,
Pump.fun. But this is one that I was on a live on TikTok
retake.
with Joshua Jake, over at Discover Crypto before we went live, and they were talking about this one, and it's basically a Pump.fun but on base chain, and it's called
Mm,
Retake.tv. So it's the same kind of format where and I'll probably create an account for this because I would love I guess I love anything that's on base. Just the gas fees are super cheap. Um, I feel that base mainnet is going to be the 800-pound gorilla when it comes to RWAs and DeFi. That's my personal opinion. Obviously you got Aave out there on ETH. There's so much going on the ETH mainnet. I just personally I avoid ETH mainnet as much as possible. When the network gets busy, and I mean anybody that's been around for a while, what I'm talking about. The network gets busy, things start pumping. It might be a couple of cents for gas when things are slow on a weekend, but if the markets are pumping, it might, in the past, it's been a couple of $100 to do a transaction. It's just insane. So I try to stay away from ETH mainnet at all costs. So this is one I'm going to be watching. If you're interested in the price on Deck Screener, this is kind of what the price has been doing. Let's go to the hourly and see. I mean, it just barely launched. It looks like August 9th or 7th. Yeah, August 7th is when it
okay.
launched. And I do not know
Wow.
where to buy this. If Jeff, you're probably a little more
Mm.
knowledgeable about how to find these early projects. If you want to check that out real quick, if you don't mind.
Retake.tv.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find this chat on pump.fun. I think you have to have the mobile.
No, oh, yeah, because you're not in. Well, no, you should be able to find us and join the live because like I'm chatting with people in the in the chat there. So you
Oh
should
shit.
be able. You might need to start an account if you don't have an account.
I did, and I'm following, but I don't. I said join chat, but it said pump chat available on the app.
Oh,
Huh.
maybe yeah, maybe you need to
Oh,
do
okay,
it.
I see it. Cause my uh oh, that's weird. Okay, I'll have to figure that out later. So what's the token name again?
It's just a retake. It just looks like that. 6 letters retake.
Oh, it looks like Uniswap. Okay.
I actually that's that Avantis. It's been pumping hard. I opened a really small position on it just to see if I could build a small bag because somebody in our chat or not our chat, but our Discord. Who was that was telling us about it? Let's see.
Yeah, you can swap on Uniswap. I don't know if there's an actual trading. Yeah, TVL 2.9 million, market cap 7.9, 680K in volume for a day. So it's not on any US centralized exchanges, of course.
Yeah, you'd probably have to swap for
Okay.
it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a degen play.
Yeah,
We've
Uniswap
got
is where it's at.
Yeah, there was somebody that was in our Discord that was telling me about Avant, AVNT,
Neo,
and
KNEO.
I unfortunately, didn't get into it. Let me look
I
it
mean, that
up.
shit went ham. 20 cents to $1.40 in just a couple days. Fuck. I'm sad I missed that one, man.
Yeah, so this is
Ugh.
Avant. This is
Ugh.
that platform that I was showing you that you can trade.
Perp trading,
Yeah,
right?
you can
And
you can do perp trading. You can also stake your USDC, the LP vaults, and so yeah, oh
and they have their
it
season
it's been
going
going
on
nuts.
where you can trade and earn points, and they have more distributions coming. But I didn't get in on any of that because I don't do too much trading or perp trading like that, so I didn't participate. But I've seen a lot of people that I follow who were involved in it and got some pretty nice hefty airdrop from it.
Well,
So
dude, I'm earning 6,000% right now on an AVNT USDC pair.
fuck. What range?
It's a 34% range.
Damn.
So
Nice.
basically between 99 cents and a dollar 40.
Shit.
I mean, it's a
6,000%?
6,000%. So I only put in like $65, but I'm earning $10 a day off $65. So if I had $600,
Hey,
I'd be earning $100 a day right now.
shit.
I might need to freaking dump some more. You know what? Let's do that live.
At least just for now.
I'm
Hey,
gonna do it.
is that on VFAT?
Yep, that's where I'm in it. I'll actually
You know?
share. Let me
Yeah.
take my screen down, and I will share my screen.
Ooh. Shit. I have some I might move some funds over to there myself. Just cuz it's hype. It's really hype right now, man. So if you can take advantage of I mean at least a few $100. Shit.
Why is it not
Man, it's so
sharing my
hot.
screen? All right, let's try this again. It does
Did it
not want to
disappear?
share. It does not want to share my screen.
Which screen do you have? Is the same one? Oh, there it is. Nope.
No, it's
Uh,
just freaking not doing. All right. Well,
try
let's
it
do
again.
this.
You just you were using the same screen, right?
Oh, I'm using. I have it on Chrome.
Oh, did you share the browser or the window? Because that might.
Uh, I'm doing the full screen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not doing it.
Add to
Let's
screen.
try to share your screen. Make sure it's not the streaming software.
Um. So I'll share my window. Nope, mine's working. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
Huh.
well, you go ahead and do it. Go ahead and look it up.
Yeah. I'll actually move this over here
Oh
and
no, I'm
then
I'm I'm down to 4,267% now.
oh, 4,000.
Oh no, I'm out. I'm out.
Let me see. Let me share my other screen. So AVNT on the pools, right?
Yep.
Because I AVNT, and I'm gonna connect.
And then I would filter by fees.
Dun, 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 dun. I need to change my wallets because for those of you who aren't really familiar with keeping your wallets separate from one another, I have like my airdrop wallet, my staking wallet, and personal wallets and stuff. So I'm going to move some. Oh yeah, right here. Wait, which one? AVNT USD. So this one, right? This Uniswap. That's the one. Oh,
Is the pool
the Uniswap 1%.
is the pool ends in Alpha 3 Echo 5. It's the CL 200. If you filter by the past 7-day fees, it's
Oh yeah, right
almost
here.
four.
Alpha 3 Echo 5.
Yep, and it
Yep.
the fees in the past 7 days is $419,000.
Yep. So it is the Uniswap protocol. So for those, there are multiple ones. There's two that are using
But
Aerodrome
it's on
and
base,
on
so
base.
you don't have to worry about the fees.
Right. Right. So right now I'm swapping some tokens over and I'm going to send them to my wallet from one of my personal wallets. So, oh, looks like Vet dropped. Okay. So right now I'm swapping and now I'm going to send these. So I'm sending some USDC to my wallet right now. There we go. So that way I can deposit this. And VFAT is fantastic because you can deposit one asset and it'll split it for you, which is amazing because it can be a pain in the ass for you to set the range and then have to pick all the swap your tokens to the right amounts and oh, do I have enough Ethereum? And it's just a hassle. So I should get some USDC here. Let's see, Avantis USDC. You see this come in yet? Okay. So I'll refresh, see if I can get. Okay. So I'm going to deposit this USDC into this pool. And let me get the right pool. Yeah, make sure if you guys do refresh your page and it will kick you back to the default. So you want the CL200 AVNT USDC Uniswap pool. And also check the contract address right here. Like Vet said, Alpha 3 Echo 5 is what it ends in. Let me get USDC. Just going to put max in there. And you have what? I'll go with 42% range. Right. What's price at right now? 119?
Let me take a look. Oh, actually, I think I navigated away.
I think that's right. Yeah. So when you're depositing, you can set your range amount here. There's auto rebalancing and stuff. I'm not going to do any of that. Your slippage. Mike had a good tip setting it to 0.25% instead of these defaults. And let's calculate the route. Okay. Deposit. And this security stuff.
I'm adding a couple $100 to my position.
And let's see, my wallet. Yep, verification. You can't see my wallet verification because it's not the full screen, but deposit. And see, it'll split it up for you.
That's the great thing about VFAT. Anybody out there that's new to DeFi, using Aerodrome and stuff like that is, it's great. But VFAT makes it so much easier. In our DeFi University, there's an episode that talks about DeFi aggregators, but VFAT's one of them. But sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, there you go. Transaction successful. Now let's check our deposits. I got my black. I just harvested that earlier.
Did you?
Man, almost 20 bucks a day, man.
Yours looks exactly like mine. I got my USDC black and my Avant USDC.
Oh, and I got my World Liberty Fi. I got like 300 bucks.
I don't have that.
Okay. Let me refresh because sometimes it takes a minute. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, that full range black pool, man, has been a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That thing is
okay. Here you go. AVNT looks like $8 a day with with 132 bucks right now. $8. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
All right.
I mean, not bad. I'll take it.
Dude, like I said, I mean, that's what I love about DeFi is, you can use, some yield that you get from, other positions and, seed, these, new projects when they come along, you can, seed them and you can churn. I mean, I've done it multiple times. I always say it, I'll use like $800, throw it in and, churn it into, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. It's just, kind of, it's almost like doing like a leverage trade or something like that. But I make it grow itself. I don't, I'm not big on just dumping a bunch of money into something. I figure if it's a good, solid project that's going to have good growth and stuff like that, and I've done my due diligence and I've looked at the fundamentals and, whatnot, I'll let it grow organically, put a couple $100 in it. If it goes up in price and, there's good yield, people are swapping, you're earning fees, growth, don't, FOMO, a bunch of your liquidity into a project and, hope that it keeps pumping, seed a liquidity pool and again, let it grow itself. So
how's the pump.fun chat going?
Let's check that out. Oh yeah, no, we got some people over there.
Oh, D Martin over there.
So
okay. 84 PX4T.
All right, Dev, make sure you glance at the pump chat once in a while. People want to make sure that you live on pump. Yes,
you are live on pump.
We're watching all the chats. So so yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you have. Be careful, that thing pumps hard while you're sleeping. A sub $1.20 is a good price. They announced in their Discord they are listing more RWAs soon. So I'm pretty sure that D Martin is talking about Avant. Because I'm wanting to say that he was the one in our Discord that probably like a week ago was telling me about it. And I just had so much going on, I didn't get around to looking at it, and that's on me.
Shit, man. Hey, and if it pumps, we'll get price appreciation.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to rebalance, you know? Hey, I'll capture that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, shit. No, and that's what I
Well, I
love
mean,
about the community too, man. You know, be people that can at least share stuff in there and say, hey, you know, take this if you want to invest in it. And it's not always 100% going to be right, but you know, so cases like this, you know,
mhm.
we love to see it, man, and we are definitely appreciate it because somebody will make money.
Oh yeah, no, it's so I don't know. Let's talk a little bit on the kind of where we're at in the cycle. What we got going on this week is on Wednesday. The Fed is going to be coming out and they're going to be talking rate cuts. They're going to be talking about interest rate cuts. There's rumor that they're going to cut 25 basis points, potentially 50 basis points.
Mm.
Um, that isn't necessarily a good thing. I want to make sure people understand this that, historically, yes, markets can pump after rate cuts because cutting interest rates allows people to borrow money, businesses to borrow money cheaper. And if they can borrow money cheap enough, then they can borrow money, use it to scale their companies, things like that. It injects liquidity into the markets and allows people to go more risk on. And risk on is things like crypto. So, can it pump the markets? Absolutely. However, historically, it can also have a negative impact. So, don't just think because there's rate cuts that the markets are going to go parabolic. However, I feel like we are about to start pumping. Just looking at my own portfolio, how some of the assets that I'm holding, how they've been behaving, I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like we're very oversold. And if you look at the data, we are showing very oversold on a lot of alts. Bitcoin dominance. Actually, you know what? I'll bring that up real quick. Let's take a look and see. Let me go to Dex Screener.
And you and David kind of touched on that during the show the other day or last week too.
We did.
Um,
We did.
he said it was some of it was priced in, but I mean, you might get a sell off just for them to maybe shake you out of your bags. But yeah, as far as like that, I don't see a huge pullback. But you know, like you said, you're not exiting. You have your strategy
No,
and
no.
plan.
All right. So let's pull up Bitcoin dominance. Oh, no. Let's go to Trading View. There we go.
Yeah, I'll pull up
Let
my
me
trading view for everyone. What's the
let me
Bitcoin
see.
dominance chart? Um,
BTC.D or BTCD. Okay, mine's working now.
oh, nice. Hey,
Oh, actually, here. You already got it up.
technicality.
What do you got going on there? Like, what are you seeing? Is it breaking down or is it rebounding? What's it doing?
Oh no, so this is the daily, and I get this from a crypto lifer. The 200 moving average and 21-day moving average is what his expertise is following. But I mean, you look at the RSI momentum right here. You got a nice little Jason Casper juicy juicy higher low or yeah, higher high right here. So your momentum is slowing down to the downside, and it's looking good for Bitcoin
So
right now.
here's Bitcoin dominance, and I also added. Let's see what we got here.
So we could see a pump on Bitcoin coming up.
So this is what we're looking at. So Bitcoin dominance has been breaking down, but
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is on the weekly. Let's go
Oh,
to let's go to the daily and see. So it looks like, man, I would love to see this break down more.
yeah. I feel like we might get a nice little pump uh, here soon on Bitcoin, and then alt season towards the end of the year.
But you can see that, I mean, we're definitely breaking down, but what I'm hoping happens by the end of the week is something starts moving, because everybody that I've talked to, like David and all of them, um, as far as historically, by the end of November, like, I mean, October, November is kind of where they see the markets taking off, and getting the parabolic moves that we're all kind of waiting for. But I mean, again, it's so much has changed, on the macro, as far as government regulation, as it pertains to crypto, institutional money, inflows, Bitcoin is the inflows from ETFs, things like that. There's
Mhm.
just so much that has changed. Potentially, it could lengthen the cycle. It could be that this bull run and potentially alt season is going to run into the first quarter of next year. Who knows? So I don't know, man. Like I
Yeah,
said, but I'm invested. I know I'm in good projects. I'm going to ride it out. I want to know. I want to see where this goes.
yeah. The whole institution thing is going to be a big curveball this time for everybody because one, they're not going to let an 80% drop, in the bear market. They're going to find a way to hold it up as much as possible. Um, Now they'll bring it down enough to shake you out of your bags, but
Oh
there is
yeah.
just a lot of unknowns because this is shit a whole new ball game. So
Well, we could probably cut this off. I wanted to make sure that we got make sure that we got the pump.fun thing working. So now that we
mhm.
kind of got the bugs worked out on that, we'll definitely be going. We'll definitely be going live. Maybe if you got the time tomorrow, Tuesdays we don't usually have a show, but if you want, we can do a show tomorrow, and kind of get a mulligan on this cluster that I created today.
Yeah,
Are,
I'll
are,
uh
are you free
I'll
tomorrow?
see.
Or
I'll be in the office. But I'll see. I'm usually home by 5:30
all right,
Pacific
yeah.
time.
Let me
So
know. Let me know a time if you're available, and I'll get it set up, and we'll I'll come up with some good content and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because this pumped out fun thing is cool. Like
I'm
that's really
digging it.
cool.
I'm really digging it. So yeah, no. If again, if you could, come on over here to Pump.Fun, and yeah, follow us, because I really would like to grow this out. I want
Oh,
to,
oh.
in any new places that we can get the word out. I'm all about it,
Mhm.
and especially if it's a Web3 platform. If it's a crypto based platform, I'm really excited to use it. So
Yeah, I see the
anyway,
chat. I had to scroll up.
what's that?
I see the pumped up fun chat. I had to scroll up on the. I was scrolled down and I was looking at other metrics on there, top holders, and I was like, oh, there's the chat.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
I smirked. I smirked.
So are you gonna go in there and buy our meme, Jeff?
Yeah, yeah, I'll throw a little bit in there.
All right, yeah, I bought a little
Support the
bit,
channel.
nothing too
Yeah,
crazy. I spent a little bit of soul, and that I had in a wallet. So all
yeah,
right, well, we appreciate y'all for bearing with us, through the technical
yeah.
difficulties. It'll be smoother next time, I promise. But Brother, I appreciate you, Jeff. I appreciate everybody in the chat,
Yes,
Deadwood, blockchain basement, everyone out there, Ayaz, Cherrywell. Don't know who else transferred over from the stream before, but till next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.